All right, today we're going to be charging up an automobile air conditioning system. The vehicle in question is my 1994 Jeep Grand Cherokee. This particular system is an R134a system. I have a feeling that it's low because it's leaked in the past, and also the compressor is not coming on. So I'm guessing it's just so low that nothing's happening. So first, what you want to do, you want to pick up a can of R134a. Again, make sure your vehicle is rated for 134a. Most vehicles after, I think, 1992R. Some newer vehicles do not use this though. They use R1234YF. So make sure that you have the right refrigerant for your vehicle. It should say underneath the hood what refrigerant it requires. So you probably won't have one of these fancy schmancy recharge gauge sets, but you can pick up a low pressure gauge at a place like Walmart or AutoZone or something like that. So I'm just gonna hook gauges on here. Of course, my gauges are coming apart, and I dropped something. Dropped the gauge cover. Plop that back on. These gauges are pretty old. There we go. So get everything straightened out, get your hoses straightened out. And now what you're going to need is one of these adapters. If you have an older gauge set like this with a piercing style valve, you need an adapter. The adapter works on cans that are not piercing style. So if you have an older gauge set, that's what you'll need. So let's start the vehicle and get things going. Forgot to mention, you want to hook up the low side port to the low side of your air conditioner system. This will be the side on the way back from the evaporator coil, not the high side, which is off the compressor. So in this vehicle, the high pressure side is located right on the compressor, right here. The low pressure side is located back here. These are just quick disconnect fittings. So pull the collar back, push down, and then tighten. So we'll start the vehicle and see what's going on. All right, so the vehicle's running. I'm gonna bleed a little bit of refrigerant out here just by loosening this a tad. Don't want to send air into the line. Beautiful. High side's tight, low side's tight. Let's crack the valve. I guess I should turn the air conditioning on, right? That might help. Air conditioning's on. Notice the compressor is not running, so let's give it some gas. You want to shake the can like this. This has leak sealer in there. Hopefully the leak isn't too bad. We should see that compressor kick on any second. Assuming it's not too low. There we go, starting. The reason why it cuts in and out like that is there's a low pressure switch. If the pressure's too low, it turns off the compressor. So what's happening is we're filling this up, and then gradually it's hitting that threshold of the low pressure switch, closes the circuit. Then as soon as the compressor comes on, it draws the pressure on the low side down and opens it again. So this will happen for a little while. Hopefully it's not leaking out faster than we're putting it in. about. That's a little weird. Have a pretty big leak in this thing. Won't bore you to death. We're going to keep on going until that compressor doesn't stop running. So it should stay on constantly. Again, max AC. Stay on a little bit longer. We'll pick it up when it stays on. Alright, so the compressor is running constantly now, which is a good sign. We're getting close to where we need to be. Alright, so the compressor's running pretty much non-stop now. These are a little bit difficult to charge because that port touching the valve cover. It's impossible to get a high side connection on there. This is a fixed orifice tube. It's not a terribly complicated system, but I usually like to charge these by feel. So you want the suction line on the evaporator, which is right here, to be cool to the touch coming out of the evaporator. So right now it's cooler, but it's not cold enough yet. That's maybe 70 degrees, 65. So we'll put a little bit more refrigerant in there. Oh, and I should say what that means when that's of that temperature, that means that there's not a lot of let's put it this way, the evaporator has removed the heat from the air in the vehicle, and there should be some residual coolness, if you will, coming out of the evaporator. If it's warm, that means that the evaporator is not saturated. Again, this is kind of a shade tree trick. Normally I would charge it with subcooling and superheat, but I can't get a high side gauge on there, or high side pressure on there. Starting to cool off quite a bit. Feel it. Let's feel the air coming out of the vehicle. That's the ultimate test, right? That's not cold, doesn't really matter. Pretty cool. Let's do... Now obviously you ultimately want to fix the leak in the vehicle so this doesn't happen again. This vehicle, at least I believe, has a pretty slow leak. Oh, interesting. Okay. So the high side is sweating here. I wonder where the orifice tube is. It should be sweating right after the orifice tube. It's not sweating here, but it is sweating here. I wonder if the orifice tube is right in there. It's kind of an odd place to put it. So you have it running through this whole area of hot engine compartment. Unless maybe it's right here, but then why would this line be sweating? Very strange. Now this should be full of liquid refrigerant before the orifice tube. Shouldn't be any gas. You want the phase change to occur right in the orifice tube. Ideally, you want that orifice tube to be as close to the evaporator as possible. The evaporator in most vehicles is under the dash. Here, it's all the way down there under the dashboard. Newer vehicles have a thermal expansion valve, which is a different setup. This is the second cam we're putting in right now. Now the whole system holds, let's see, it should say somewhere how much it holds. Somewhere. .28 ounces. So I put in a whole can. This is 12. So if we put in 2 cans, this thing's pretty darn empty. That's probably a fast leak. I don't know where the other can went, but I think it was a smaller can. That should be interesting. Really hope it's not a fast leak. Refrigerant's not cheap, it's 10 bucks. Might have to get one of those big packs. Oh, there it is. Is that it? No, that's a fresh can. I have a couple of these cans floating around. Let that equalize for a minute. Let's see what it feels like in the vehicle. Should be nice and cool. That's cooling off. A lot cooler than it was. Lasts. Alright, so we'll let that run a few minutes. That line's cool, but it's not cold. We'll give it a little bit more juice. Definitely don't want this line to be warm though, because if it's warm, you're definitely don't have enough refrigerant. That's kind of the shade tree way to charge an AC system. Again, I wouldn't recommend this on a newer vehicle or something more sophisticated than, you know, something with a thermal expansion valve. That will not, this procedure will not work on. But a simple fixed orifice tube on a 25-year-old vehicle works wonderfully. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe.